The only art museum in the state of Delaware, the Delaware Art Museum, founded in 1912 as the Wilmington Society of Fine Arts, plays a large role in establishing and maintaining standards of excellence in collecting, exhibiting, and teaching. Its major exhibitions and programs gain regional and national attention. However, the museum's principal audience is composed of the people of Delaware and those visiting on business or pleasure. The museum's collections are not encyclopedic. Rather, they center on specific areas in depth. Included are painting, sculpture, photography, and crafts, which give a historic overview of the development of American art post-1840. The American Illustration Collection, one of the most complete in the country, makes the museum a recognized repository for the study of this form of art. The museum houses the largest collection of works by Delaware illustrator and teacher Howard Pyle. As a part of an ongoing policy, the museum continues to collect the works of Pyle and his students, including N.C. Wyeth, Frank Schoonover, Stanley Authors, and Violet Oakley. This Brandywine School collection is unsurpassed in the area and includes major holdings by Andrew Wyeth and the Wyeth family. The Samuel and Mary Bancroft Pre-Raphaelite collection is the only major non-American element in the museum's holdings. Donated by the estate of Samuel P. Bancroft in 1935, the collection is one of two important assemblages in the United States of work by this group of English Victorian artists. The permanent collections are rotated on a regular basis to give visitors a sense of the depth and variety of material. None of these collections are static. Rather, there is a continuing commitment to acquire appropriate works. At any given time, only 2 to 3% of the museum's permanent collection is on display. In addition to permanent and semi-permanent exhibits of the selections from the museum's collections, the Delaware Art Museum maintains a schedule of special exhibitions of material on loan from other major institutions. This exhibition of works, done by American artist John Sloan during the time he lived in Santa Fe, was organized by the Smithsonian Institution Traveling Exhibition Service. The Wilmington showing has been made possible by a grant from the DuPont Company. It is particularly appropriate that the Delaware Art Museum is the repository for the John Sloan archives. Augmenting the traveling show are Indian jewelry and rugs from the museum collection, which were owned by Sloan. As part of its ongoing programming, the museum provides a special gallery for children. The current exhibition is the Great Train Mobile. In it, children can create their own mobiles out of shapes provided to them. The museum is actively seeking to expand its support base through increased individual, corporate, and foundation involvement. Without this support, it will be necessary to cut back drastically on programs and services vital to the cultural life of our community. With me is Bob Frankel, the director of the Delaware Art Museum. Bob, what are you trying to accomplish here at the Delaware Art Museum?
I think probably the most important thing that we're trying to do at this point is to let people know about the museum. Unfortunately, very often the museum's been one of the best kept secrets in town. We want people to know what is here, what's available to them. We want them to know about the collections, the importance of the museum in relation to not only Delaware, but actually throughout the entire country.
Can you tell us about the historical development of this wonderful institution?
What became the museum actually started in 1912. Howard Pyle died in 1911 in Italy, and there was a memorial exhibition held in his honor or memory here at the hotel. From that exhibition, 48 paintings were purchased, and there wasn't any place to receive them. So the Wilmington Society of Fine Arts was founded at that point in time. During the 1920s, the Wilmington Society exhibited at the new public library, and then in 1938 this building was put up. We now house the collection of Howard Pyle and Howard Pyle students, as well as the Pre-Raphaelite collections and American paintings.
I understand the museum offers a varied array of special programs. Can you give us an overview of these?
We try to offer programs that are going to be interesting to various people within the community. There's a full-scale studio program with classes for adults and children that goes all year long. Additionally, we have special films, lectures. There's a series of lectures now which is being done in conjunction with the John Sloan exhibition. There is a new activity that we started this year, which is a family workshop where parents and children can come together to the museum to participate in a hands-on creative experience, as well as perhaps seeing a film, taking a tour of a specific exhibition within the museum. What we try to do is to provide enough different kinds of programming so that at some point everyone within the community is going to find something in which they're interested here at the museum.
How is the museum funded? Do you have a large endowment? Do you get a lot of government funds?
The museum is primarily funded through private sources. We receive a small amount of money through the State Arts Council, but that's really the only governmental money we get, except for perhaps some National Endowment for the Arts grants which come for special projects at the museum. We have an endowment that provides about 20% of the museum's operating costs. The rest of the monies have to come from memberships, donations from individuals, foundations, or corporations, and also from activities such as our sales and rental gallery, the museum shop, the art classes. We try to get money from wherever we can, actually, in order to keep the museum going.
Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
I've been in Wilmington for 2 years, moved here from Phoenix, Arizona, where I was at the Phoenix Art Museum for about 10 years. Prior to that, I was in New York, finishing graduate school at the Institute of Fine Arts and working at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
What are the future plans of the Delaware Art Museum?
The future plans of the museum are basically to expand on what we are doing now, to keep providing the kinds of programming, the kinds of exhibitions that are needed and wanted by the people of Delaware, to try to keep up with what we actually already are and to let people know what we already are, and hopefully with enough people taking advantage of the museum, we will be able to indeed follow through on the whole history of activity that we've had here.
Well, Bob, I hope with this segment on Focus Delaware will help you to reach that goal, and hopefully Delawareans will come and see the Delaware Art Museum. I know too few in our state have taken advantage of this wonderful facility.
Well, thank you for being here.
This has been Bob Weiner on location at the Delaware Art Museum. Thank you, Bob.
Well, we've come to an end of another Focus Delaware show, but before we leave you, we want to tell you about our winners of gift certificates for the evening. To La Grande Salad Saloon, dinner for two goes complimentary to Ed Klusak of the 900 block of North Broome Street, and a gift certificate for Sunday brunch for two to La Grande Salad Saloon is going out to Marie Atkinson of the 200 block of Kaiser Place in Newcastle. Congratulations to both of you. Next week's show promises to be a very nice lineup also. We'll be continuing our Delaware Small Wonder Tours as we take you to another visual tour of the state of Delaware. We'll be meeting Dick Kyle, who has started a society called the Big Band Society. You'll find out about this group and where you can go hear some big bands and see a little bit about the big bands performing in our state of Delaware. On Restaurant Corner next week, we're going on location to the Chadds Ford Inn up in Chadds Ford to see that historical restaurant and to get a flavor of what's new in that area. And last but not least, we'll be entertained next week by Community Showcase performer Jan Benson, a flutist. That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us. Take care and enjoy.